New at noon, the American Red Cross responds to the deadly southern tornadoes. A deadly tornado ripped through Autauga County, killing 7 people there in Alabama. Joining us live to tell us more about the effort is Casey Grist, the executive director of the North Mississippi chapter of the American Red Cross. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Casey. First off, how is it right now in Alabama?
Thanks for having me, Tanya. I appreciate this opportunity to share with everybody what our brothers and sisters over here in Alabama are going through. It's rough. The bulk of the damage, I would say, is in the Selma, Alabama area, and we certainly have teams on the ground there. We have a shelter opened. I believe around 40 people were in the shelter last night. And then I'm working in down in the Prattville area, and that's an area that is very rural. And so it's not unlike what we see in Mississippi. The damage is widespread, but it's mixed around a lot. And like I said, and there were 7 fatalities in that area. So Red Cross is happy to be here and provide support where we can. We are working with local churches to provide meals and provide spiritual care and mental health counseling for those families who lost loved ones.
Now, I know this morning you were telling me that you were going to visit some of the shelters. What has been the response from the people?
It is amazing, and it just reminds me of when we went through this in Tupelo. The community is so resilient, and the communities themselves have wrapped themselves around these people, the churches that have opened their doors and are providing meals and clothing and water and all types of assistance. But I did have an opportunity to speak with a couple of families this morning that lost their homes, and at this point they're overwhelmed. They don't know what to do next. They're staying with relatives, and they're one family shared, she said, we have a roof over our head and we have food to eat. And, beyond that, we're still just overwhelmed and trying to figure out what to do next. And of course, that's where we at the Red Cross hope that we're able to provide some assistance and help in that area.
Now, how can people actually help out the storm victims in Alabama?
The best way to help storm victims anywhere is through your dollar donations to Red Cross, because we are able to turn that into so much more. There's a couple of things. If you want to make a $10 donation, you can just text disaster to 90999, and that will go straight to the disaster relief here. You can also go to the Red Cross website, just redcross.org, and click on the donate button. When you make that donation, you'll be given an opportunity to designate that to disaster relief, and that does go to the current disaster. And so that's the best way to to help, and then also always to volunteer. If you are not currently a Red Cross volunteer and this is something that you would be interested in doing, still go to the website and click on our volunteer tab. And whether it's this disaster or a future disaster, 90% of our workforce is volunteer, and we live and breathe by the success of our volunteers.
Well, you know what, Casey, thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Sure.
All right, take care.